Okay, I am going to show you how to create a questionnaire for free using Google Docs. You need to make sure that you're signed into your Google account, and I am because I can see that little icon there. And if you go on to key in Google Docs Online and then select the appropriate option. And then when this screen comes up, you need to select Forms and go to Google Forms. And because I'm signed in as me, in a moment a few questionnaires will appear that I have already created. So we've got a number of different questionnaires here. I'm just going to pop onto this one because I can show you what a finished questionnaire looks like before we go into build ours. So I'm just opening that one up now. This one was to allow people in my photography group to send me nice locations where they'd been to photograph. So I've got a brief, this is what the person actually sees that fills the form in. So I've got a brief title, a description and instructions, then a series of things that they have to fill in for me. And if they wanted to, they could tick certain options. Now I'm actually not in the preview mode, sorry, I thought I was. I'll show you that in a moment. So a series of different questions here that I wanted them to complete for me. And then if I go up to this eye icon here and it says preview, then I can actually have a look at how this questionnaire appears to the people that I send it to complete. So and I'll show you how to set all of this up in a moment. So they fill in here, here they have to fill in the questions that are asterisked, and they can select various options here as well. And then once they're finished, they press submit and off that goes. So I'm just going to come out of the preview mode for now and go back to the sort of the back end, if you like. And 4 people have actually responded to this questionnaire at some point for me. So if we have a look at their responses, you can see that you've got the option of looking at a summary of all the responses or the individual responses. And we'll just wait for those to upload. Been having a few Wi-Fi problems today. So I've got 4 responses. They've given me 4 different locations for photographing. They've given me 4 links or responses to me asking for pictures. And it's then broken down into the different categories that I've clicked there. And then different people have provided me with information there as well, etc. So that's when I look at everybody's responses. But if I want to, I can just look at an individual response and see that this particular person was telling me about Formby Beach, telling me they've uploaded pictures, telling me that they think it's best for wildlife photography, and then an address and a few bits and pieces. So I can look at the individual responses, which is great. So that's an up and working questionnaire. What I will do now is go back a stage to where you would come into this and you would start your first questionnaire. So if you press blank here and come up with your first untitled form. Now the colours here are a little bit garish. You can choose those and change them. So if we go to this colour palette here and choose a more subtle colouring, we end up with that sort of colour. As far as I can tell, you can't put in a specific colour, so just choose something that you feel works for what you're trying to do. If we go back into that now, we can also add an image, which can be quite nice if you've got one that would sit along the top of your form. And there are a number of images that you could choose from here for free. I'm going to upload a photo from my computer. And I know that this this questionnaire is going to be about product photography. So I'm actually going to upload a relevant picture for that when the computer decides to kick into life. Here we go. So I go to my desktop and pick a suitable picture. I'm going to pick this one. It uses a very slim crop, as you can see, so be careful what picture you choose, because whatever it is has got to look good however you decide to crop it. It's a bit of an awkward size, to be honest, this one, but I'm going to go with that. And in a second that will load as my background. Now what I think it does at this stage, which is a little bit annoying, is puts the background in a colour that it feels is suitable to your picture. It's obviously picked out the pinky tones there. I'd forgotten it was going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to put a title in here, and I'm going to call this Product Photography Workshop. And the description is, it is a questionnaire for attendees before workshop, because I might send them another one afterwards to get their feedback and see what they thought of the workshop. Okay, so our first question here, in my case it's going to be name, and then we can go across to the right here, and we don't want to give them a multiple choice for their name, we'll just give them short answer, but you could see that there were various different options there. So that's my first question in this block here. Okay, I can say that I want that to be required, they must fill that in. Okay, and we'll ignore all of that for the moment. And then to add your next question, you just press the plus sign. So my next question is going to be, which camera make or model do you own? Or should that be what camera make or model? What camera make or model do you own? Question mark. And for this one, short answer, possibly, or we could give them a chance to do a paragraph depending on, some of them might get a bit, want to write a little bit more. And then we add our next question, which could be, in this instance, it's list any lenses you own. And here again, I'm going to let them do a paragraph so that they have got some room to list everything that they've got. Next question, it's going to be a yes or no question. Do you own a tripod? And then we can say yes or no. And then if we ignore this, it actually won't appear. So we could click on that and it will say add other, or we could add an option there for them to answer. But in this instance, that's not correct. It's also not a question that they need to fill in. Neither were these other ones. You obviously decide that as you're going through. Okay, then the next question I'm going to ask is going to be a multiple choice question. So which of the following modes or settings are you comfortable using? And we're going to do some checkboxes. So here we go to our option 1, and I'm going to ask them if they're comfortable using auto. Then I'm going to ask them if they're comfortable using program, which is also known as P, or are they comfortable using aperture priority, which is also known as A or AV, or the next one. So you see I'm just clicking below and it's giving me it's just automatically giving me another option. Shutter priority, which is S, or TV. This probably is gobbledygook to you. And the other option could be manual. And my final one is ISO. Okay, so I'm not going to make this required. And I think I can probably shuffle option order. No, we don't want to do any of that. I think if you only wanted them to click one, you'd give them a multiple choice question. If you're going to allow them to tick more than one, you give them a checkbox, which we've done in this instance. Then I am going to ask another open-ended question underneath there. I'm going to put what type of products do you sell? And going to do a long answer or paragraph there for them, and then another question following that is going to be if you have a website, please give the URL, and that's going to be a short answer. Okay, so then my final question will be about allergies. Please give any food allergies or dietary requirements. And then again, we would give them a long answer text for that. Okay, so we've got our questionnaire there, and we will just have a quick preview of it. I'm not showing you everything on here because I don't think it's necessary. If you're just wanting to set up a quick, short questionnaire, this is how you do it. So we'll go and have a quick preview. And when you're in the preview mode, you can actually give it a go and fill it in. So you can fill in your name, Jane B. What camera model do you own? You can fill something in for that. List any lenses you own. Why am I struggling to do this? 18 to 55, comma 70 to 200, etc. Do you own a tripod? Yes. Which of the following modes are you comfortable using? You click any of those. What products do you sell? Gin. If you have a website, give it here. And gluten free. And submit. Okay, and it does actually submit that. Your response has been recorded. Submit another response. Okay, I'm just going to go back into the questionnaire itself and see if we have any options to limit to one response. Here we go. You could opt to choose the email addresses of the people that are going to be answering. That's particularly useful if you're going to be getting a lot of people to do this. Requires sign-in. Limit to one response. Don't really get that, but anyway, if you want to limit it to one response, just do that there. Do you want to allow respondents to edit after submission, and do you want them to see this? Well, normally not, I would say, but limit to one response would be good. Edit after submission, if they want to, they can do. They'll be required to sign into Google if they're going to do this, which shouldn't be a problem. I think most people have a Google account these days, and then just save those settings. Okay, so once you are happy with your questionnaire, you can send. And this then gives you the option again to decide if you want to collect email addresses, send via email to a particular person, or copy a link. And if you send via email, you can edit things here and you can include the form in the email. Okay, I usually do this where I copy the link. You can shorten the URL there. I copy the link and then I would add that into the email that I'm going to send them, perhaps from my normal email provider. Okay, and it is as easy as that, and you have created your questionnaire. And when you go out, so go back here, it still says untitled form at the moment. If you notice, it should now be called Product Photography Workshop. It isn't. Let's just click on that and see why it's not done that. Right, I clicked on it where it said Untitled Form, and it has now given that the name of Product Photography Workshop. Okay, so I now have 4 workshops here and questionnaires, sorry, and one of them is a duplicate, so I'm going to just remove that. I've got 3 live forms here that I can send out to people at any time. So that is how you make a simple free questionnaire using Google Forms, and I hope that has been useful for you and I haven't rabbited on for too long. Thank you.